can we see maybe how SoStock exactly can help, or like maybe, should we share maybe the screen and explain maybe the process? Maybe someone's listening now, they're like, okay, interesting. Like maybe I'm
Mhm.
using some tool for inventory management, but this kind of forecasting of profits sounds interesting, or generally what you guys like, how you guys stand out, sort of. So maybe we can,
Yeah.
yeah, gonna share the website and yeah, see what's possible with SoStock.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so starting with everything starts with the forecasting. So taking your sales data and being able to forecast across the next year. A lot of software forecast for the next order. We do for the next year so that you can do your planning. So we'll have a timeline. This is all of your past sales. And then there are a few different ways that you can forecast. So we pull your FBA data, we pull your sales data, and then you can come in here and you can say, I want to look at my adjusted velocity. So I only want to factor the sales data based on what happened over, let's say, the last 180 days, 90 days, and so forth. So you kind of see it evening out. There's other ways, though. You can look at last year's sales and you can factor last year's sales instead. So you'll have more of a forecast that looks like this, right? So that's the big foundation is how do we forecast? How do we indicate what our sales is going to be over the period of time? And then when do we need to place those orders so that we don't run out of stock? Yeah, so that's the basics. There are a lot of other bells and whistles. You can set minimum where I don't want to run out of specific amount. I never want to go over, never want to go under 30 days, never want to go over, let's say 90 days. And so you can set those parameters. And so those are some of the biggest differences, being able to do the timeline and be able to set kind of those parameters. And all of that feeds into the profit. Because if we didn't have that forecast, that timeline, we wouldn't be able to forecast the fees that are going to be accumulating. So really, that timeline is the foundation of everything.
Hmm. So for those maybe who are seeing SoStock from within the first time, this is how it looks from inside. Again, I'll remind our listeners, viewers, in the description, we have another video with Chelsea when we dive into a tutorial of about 30 minutes where we mostly touch on the software and we share different things. But in this video, we'll still kind of go a little bit, but that video can be an additional video for this one to watch to improve your experience with SoStock. But people will be able again to, if I understand correctly, Chelsea, they can also get help with onboarding with your team, right? This way or another, right? So because as you mentioned, it's also customized per client, right?
Hmm.
Could
Yeah.
you explain that? What does it mean? Like, say a client comes, maybe they're seven-figure Amazon seller, they have 25 products, for example, and they're pulling like sales across the US, maybe somewhere in seven figures per year. Maybe someone six, maybe someone even eight or more. So what will
Hmm.
happen then? Let's say the guys will contact
Yeah.
you again. Appreciate if you viewers please use the link in the description. This kind of helps me keep the content free. It's an affiliate link, means that kind of if you do business with SoStock and Chelsea and the guys at Carbon Six, I'm gonna get a little commission from that, no extra cost to you. This way, we kind of keep the interviews free and the content free without a paywall. So thank you
Mhm.
for that. And but yeah, like, but then how will
Yeah.
it go? How will the process go?
Sure. Yeah. So you'll go and you'll set up a demo with one of our team members because every scenario is different. Like I've not seen a lot of the same type of setup for uh, each seller. Like there's
Mhm.
always some quirks and things like that. Maybe the timing, the order timing is different. Maybe the workflow is different. So we like to get on a call first off because when we do um, just free access and you get in there, you may go, we've had people go, oh, well, you can't do what I need it to do. And then we get on a call and we say, oh, what do you need it to do? And then, okay, that's here. So we're wanting to work with you to customize your SoStocked account. So having that call initially, and then you want to get in there and actually put your data in there. And then we'll have the onboarding team get on a call with you and walk you through, not just showing you how it can work for
Yeah.
you, but actually helping you to implement those things, putting in any POs you have, putting in the warehouse, setting up those dashboards that you need to be able to see the data that you want to see. So all of that is customized to you, and you can jump on a call with our support team to be able to work that out.
And by the way, kind of a follow-up question, Chelsea, please. SoStocked works only in the USA or across any Amazon marketplace right now?
Yeah, so it works on every Amazon marketplace.
Nice, nice. Because we have people from different, I see on YouTube statistics, like we have people from many, many countries listening. So, and I
Oh,
assume they're, except of Amazon USA or maybe Canada or other marketplaces, they're selling in UAE and Europe. Okay,
yeah,
cool, cool.
yeah,
All right. So again,
absolutely.
people will kind of get help during the onboarding, etc. So they'll really see how it benefits them and all their questions that are kind of coming up, they have an answer to, and then it's more smooth. Okay. And then what's the next steps they take? Say they've gotten on a call, and I mean, generally they understood that they want some help with inventory management because it can be a process with different mistakes, with misunderstanding, going out of stock, overstock, fees. Like maybe not everyone is even aware much. Maybe people are able to get their stock on time. They're not really out of stocking, but they, let's say they have problem with overstocking or something, and they don't really know how to solve it or how to deal with it. So let's say in the call they'll get help, but then how would they work with the software eventually? How would they kind of, what would be their kind of day to day here?
Sure. Yeah. So after basic forecasting is done, that can be adjusted. One of the features that we're launching right now is called combo forecasting. So you can set your basic foundation and say, for the most part, I want, let's say, 30, 60, 90-day average. But during the holiday season, I want to use last year's sales and I want to add, 10% on top of that. So you can create what we call combo forecasting, where you say, here's my default, and then I want to override the default with these settings. So that's something that we're launching right now. And that can repeat. You can say, repeat this forecast every single year. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
some of these products can be kind of set and forget, where that every year on the fourth quarter, it's going to switch over to last year's sales, and you don't have to worry about going in and kind of tweaking every single one. So that's the foundation, and then from that, you can view by supplier, and you can create purchase orders from the software. So creating purchase orders, and then I can jump over
Mm-hmm.
being able to track that. So you've got your account. You would come up and you would create purchase orders. Then you would go into the orders page and you would track those things. So anything in production, anything that is on its way to either your warehouse or Amazon, all of those get tracked. And then anything going to your warehouse, anything checking into FBA.
We move these around, or it's moving automatically? Like this is, I understand there's in production, warehouse and prep center. So we're producing an item. We will start like a little card here, or how would that work for new user?
Right. So you've got your lead time. So
Mhm.
you've got, let's say, this is the product that I'm doing. I'm using this product, and this is the method of lead time that I'm going to be using. Um, so once you create that PO, it's going to add this particular lead time. And then once that lead time is locked in for that PO, it's going to automatically advance it across the
Mm.
timeline.
So it's connected to our supplier in a way, or how, or how would it move it? I'm just curious.
So yeah, so you set the lead time, and you say this is on average what it takes.
I see.
And then if anything changes, you can go in and here, you
Hmm.
can go
Yeah.
in and make that change. So you can say, I want to change where it's going. I want to change, let's say it's delayed. So you can add 5 days and you say it's delayed in production. And then you can save it, and it
Hmm.
will then update to the new workflow, and it will go into wherever it needs to go into.
Okay, I understand. I'm just curious also, those clients that have been clients of SoStocked for years,
Mhm.
what do they say? Like, what's their day to day? Maybe maybe they give you some feedback. That would be, I think, useful for those who want to join. Maybe, but based
Mhm.
on the mindset of these people who've been users for a long time and have been enjoying it and has been benefiting their business, what do they say? What do they kind of suggest, or what can you suggest, of course, too? But something
Mhm.
like that. That's from. Mhm.
Yeah, so keep maintaining the account, so making sure your purchase orders are in there, making sure that when you send in FBA inventory, you've attributed it to a purchase order. Where did this inventory come from, right? You need to know, was it a purchase order? Did it come from your warehouse? So being able to keep uh, that controlled, knowing that the account is set up, and then going into the forecast, creating your purchase orders. Um, we have dashboards. So we have an inventory page, and you can create these dashboards to identify uh, how much inventory you have on hand, or like we mentioned, you can, avoid stock outs. These are products that maybe have products that are out of stock. Maybe you've got overstock. We mentioned the overstock fees. So this will surface overstock fees. What are you going to pay in the next
Mm.
12 months
Oh,
if you don't handle this? So this product is going to start incurring fees
nice.
in February. And then I've got to market this product before it starts incurring these heavy fees, right? This is where the 9 month mark is. So you have a significant amount of time to make that decision, but this just calls it out so you can react before that hits, right?
Hmm. And this is private label and wholesale sellers also, like on an arbitrage, or who mostly uses like
Yeah.
this? Like, is this wholesalers or
So
private label
yeah,
or?
so this is both generally wholesalers and private label. It doesn't work well for retail arbitrage and that sort of thing because retail arbitrage usually isn't restocking products. So if
Yeah.
they buy what they buy and
Yeah.
then they move on, there's no forecasting products that you're not going to restock.
Hmm. Awesome. So then, yeah, people get in and they kind of go through the onboarding. Then we've shown some kind of features of SoStocked. Maybe there's more like frequently asked questions you get from users, maybe during the onboarding or during the kind of day to day. Something also maybe we have, of course, viewers, listeners drop comments in the comment section that can also help. But Chelsea, what do you see here? Like maybe in the support, something that keeps coming back and back and back. Maybe we can answer that. It'll be useful for those who want on board.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, oops, I don't know why
Yeah,
this
there
keeps
you go.
happening.
There you go. Yeah.
Apologies. Yeah, so a lot of times people want to know, they want to know where the data comes from, obviously, making sure that the data is being pulled in correctly. And
Yeah.
then, mm, when people first sign up, understanding how the forecasting works, I think that is a big piece of it. Knowing, uh, having an idea of when do you use each different kind of forecasting. When do I use last year's sales? When do I use my forecasting for adjusted velocity? How do I launch products? How do I set it up so that launching products is like they don't have the data. If I don't have the data to launch products, how do I launch products? So there are features for all of that. So we're able to then go in with them and show them how to put those features to work together to be
Hmm.
able to build a forecast.
And once they people are clients, they get some. Well, there was the kind of onboarding, right? That happens. However, what about after that? Say someone's been onboarded, people kind of have been shown how to use it,
Hmm.
and now they're starting to play. They're creating those kind of shipments that are
Yeah.
or the kind of purchase orders that then we have the lead time, etc. So it starts kind of tick 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 moving in the system, so people can then follow up. But then do they contact you again sometimes, the users, for like some other questions? Do you get that sometimes from those who already kind of understood what's going on, and then on the ongoing, do you see that?
Yeah. So we'll get that from customers. where they'll have questions, let's say, something changes in their supply chain, or, they didn't, that we did a certain thing. So they were doing something manually, and then we were able to help them to create a system around it. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll get that, and we'll be able to bring them in and we call it technical or product support rather than onboarding,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
we're applying that additional support. So it's not, a one and done, and then you can't ever,
Nice.
get help with us. We tend to do a lot of support, and then we do videos with our customer support. They can, people can send videos in and say, "Hey, I'm trying to figure this out," and then the support, the online support, is run by my husband. So he'll go in and he'll say, "Hey, this is how to do this," or, "This is what you did, and you should do this instead."
Mm-hmm.
Your workflow should change a little bit for, in this way.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's nice that kind of there's care for those who are already kind of have gotten on board, and yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And also, I thought of before kind of we wrap up the interview, maybe like with all that we've spoken about, what would be like the of SoStock? What would be the pricing then? Is there like a set pricing model, or again, it's based on project? And again, maybe it's a six-figure seller, or maybe it's an eight-figure seller. So of course, the workload and the yeah, I guess the
The
workload
data.
and the maintenance kind of growth would be different, of course, for an eight and six-figure seller, or seven, or any different sellers. So
Sure.
what's the pricing tiers? Is there pricing on the website also, or something like that?
Sure, yeah. So the pricing is based on tiers. So based on your particular order schedule, we'll set it for that. Generally, more data is pulled in, more calculations being done for the forecast when you have more orders. So being able to store that data, forecast that data, we then will charge more as the company and the number of orders scales up. So it's based on that pricing that can be discussed when you do your demo. And then with the profit forecasting that we're launching, it's a set fee that's under $100. So you can sign up for that. That's something that you would then use some of the basic forecasting,
Hmm.
which will tie into the profitability. You won't create orders, you won't, pull in Amazon shipments, but you will get that sales data to be able to forecast for profitability. So that is something. Maybe you don't want to change your whole system. That's a big ask for people to change, especially if they
Mm,
have multiple team members, to change the way they're forecasting. So that usually takes, 3 to 4 weeks to really get
interesting.
rolling with. So the profitability is less than $100. Right now it's around $79 a month, and you can set that up within a matter of 2, 3 days, and be able to see value and have an idea of your profitability and
Hmm.
actions to take to improve it. So we've wanted to price it low to give an opportunity for every business to benefit, because it's a huge problem right now, is profitability.
Yeah, I understand. And can we pay monthly or yearly? Is there such options, Chelsea? Like, for example, yearly deal, like as
Sure.
like would that be like a little better offer for
Mhm.
sellers, or monthly, or just monthly is the only option? Like, what do you have these days?
Yeah, so it's generally a 6 month or a 12 month.
Mhm.
We want to have you see some real benefit.
Yeah.
So 6 month for profitability, for profit flow, is under $500. So being able to find those opportunities should pay for itself within, a short period of time,
Mhm.
a month or so. And then there's deals on like a discount for signing up for 12 months.
Mhm. All right. So again, we're gonna have the link in the description to kind of check out SoStocked, and then by using the link, once you're onboarding, you can also mention my name, Vova Evan, and yeah, the guys will know kind of that you're coming from this video or our website, vovaevan.com, and then they'll help you with the onboarding. Plus, they might give some sort of extra benefit because you're watching this, if possible. We'll do our best to have something, but yeah, pretty awesome. And then again, the link is in the description. Chelsea, before we wrap it up, maybe what else should I have asked you and I haven't? Maybe you wanted to share something and I kind of skipped the question, or something you feel important to share. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think that the important thing is profit forecasting is not just about what am I going to pay, moving forward. It's identifying based on my ASINs, I can find which ones are underperforming and then do a deep dive into which part, what cost is underperforming. So is it my landing cost? Is it my fees are too high? Is it that I have, ad spend that's too high?
Mhm.
So finding those opportunities to improve a product, figuring out on another layer which part of that product is causing that margin to go down. And then from that data, SoStock then generates a strategy. So marketing has a strategy, inventory team has a strategy, finance team has a strategy. And so there's strategic, the data is fine. And one of the things we found with our beta testers, the data is fine. It's just we want the end goal of what to do with it.
Yeah.
So identifying those costs, we call them cost centers or cost share, identifying those things and then assigning a strategy so that your team can go in there and know what to do to improve those margins.
I think that it makes sense. The pricing, like you mentioned, that it's like, say it's 6 months or 12, because it sounds like you're just taking a seller and kind of you're really trying to kind of improve their business from many different angles, which
Mm-hmm.
will probably take some time, especially for those bigger, even for smaller businesses. It doesn't matter, I think, even this kind of size of the business. But I understand that, as you mentioned, I think it takes a month to kind of restructure the generally how it's all the system of, say, forecasting works, right, for
Mm-hmm.
certain businesses. So that's why kind of it makes sense that you try to take people for a while and then walk them through all this journey of e-commerce, Amazon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen that some people have joined through kind of previously through my link, which I'm grateful. I'm not sure if you are watching who have joined, but thank you if you did. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. This helps me keep the content free, because we don't work based on like paying for these interviews. We kind of just get to know each other and grow partnerships, and step by step grow as a kind of as seller community in a sense. And I'm just keeping this without a paywall. So hopefully this is useful for you. Chelsea, thank you for today. It was a nice call. And again, I'll have the best offer in the description for SoStocked. Use the link, support the channel, and also get hopefully something that will be useful for your business. If you have any more questions, ask. We'll get back to you. And check out also the video that Chelsea mentioned, I think, or we spoke about it before. There's a video that explains in a few minutes or about the new tool with the profit forecasting. And also there's the tutorial of 30 minutes that we did a while ago that shows you exactly how SoStock looks from the inside, how it works.
Mhm.
So yeah, Chelsea,
Awesome.
anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up and wrap up this year? Just the last message for the world, please,
I
before we're on.
think yeah, I think we covered it. I appreciate you reaching out, having me back on, especially the timing is good for the announcement of
Mhm,
what we're building.
mhm,
I'm really passionate about helping people to be more profitable.
mhm.
That's what SoStock was built for. It was a means to an end, and the end was profitability and being more profitable and losing less money.
Yeah.
And so to get to this point of being able to more directly impact that, I'm excited for 2026 to see how we can, change some things and build sustainable, scalable businesses. Help sellers to do that more.
Awesome. Awesome. Good luck. And hopefully 2026 is going to be good for you, for your team, and also for our listeners, viewers. So thanks, everyone.
Sure.
And yeah, have a good year ahead. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.